Did you know there's a town in the Nevada desert that appears for only 1 hour once a year? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but for one photographer, it became a terrifying reality. This is the story of Black Rock City, not the one from the famous festival, but a ghost town with a much darker secret. Our story begins with a curious photographer named Alex, who stumbled upon an old legend about a phantom town. The story claimed that every year, on the same day, a small, idyllic 1950s town materializes in the middle of the vast Nevada desert, only to vanish exactly 60 minutes later. Most people dismissed it as a campfire tale, a mirage, or a local myth. But Alex was intrigued. Armed with his camera and a healthy dose of skepticism, he set out to find it. Following old maps and cryptic clues, Alex drove deep into the barren landscape. The sun was scorching, and the endless sand seemed to stretch on forever. Just when he was about to give up, something impossible happened. Right before his eyes, on the horizon, buildings began to shimmer into existence. It wasn't a mirage. It was a real living town. Old-fashioned cars lined the streets, kids played with hula hoops on manicured lawns, and residents in vintage clothing went about their day, waving and smiling. The clock on the town hall tower read 6 p.m. Alex couldn't believe his eyes. He grabbed his camera and started snapping pictures, capturing the surreal scene. The town felt perfect. Almost too perfect. The smiles of the residents seemed frozen, their conversations repetitive. As he walked down Main Street, he noticed something strange. A little girl dropped her ice cream cone, cried for a moment, and then, as her mother comforted her, the scene seemed to reset, as she was holding a full ice cream cone again, smiling. A mailman delivered the same letter to the same house, over and over. It dawned on Alex with a chilling realization. This town was trapped in a time loop. These people were reliving the same hour, day after day, year after year. He approached an elderly man sitting on a park bench and asked him what year it was. The man smiled warmly and said, "Why, it's 1958, son. A beautiful evening, isn't it?" He was completely unaware that nearly 70 years had passed. Alex realized that these people were ghosts, spectral echoes of a time long gone, trapped by a cataclysmic event. What could cause such a bizarre phenomenon? The answer lay buried in the region's history. In the 1950s, this area was a primary site for nuclear testing. Alex theorized that one of the atomic blasts must have created a temporal anomaly, a bubble in time that ensnared the town and its inhabitants at the exact moment of detonation. They were caught in the final hour of their lives, blissfully unaware, repeating it for eternity. They were living in the calm before the storm, a storm that never arrives for them, but one that sealed their fate forever. As Alex documented this haunting spectacle, he looked at the town clock. It was 6:55 p.m. A strange energy began to fill the air. The perfect blue sky started to flicker, and the edges of the buildings grew transparent. The residents continued their routines, oblivious to their impending disappearance. Alex knew he had to get out. He ran back to his car, his heart pounding in his chest. As he looked in his rearview mirror, the clock tower struck 7 p.m. In an instant, the entire town, with its smiling residents and classic cars, vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but the empty, silent desert. Back in his studio, Alex developed the photos. They were stunningly clear, proof of his impossible encounter. But then something even stranger happened. He had a photograph of the town square, with the clock tower at the center. As he watched, the hands on the clock in the picture began to move. They ticked forward, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and then the town in the photo faded, just as it had in the desert. Every time he looked at it, the cycle repeated. The photograph itself was trapped in the time loop. Alex had captured more than just a picture. He had captured a piece of the anomaly. The town of Black Rock City might exist for only 1 hour a year, but for Alex, its ghostly presence would now be a part of his life forever. A constant, ticking reminder of the town that time forgot. What do you think? Could a place like this really exist? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries.